and at least hopefully this time everyone could see the chats. So we're back on live. We're just waiting for Andrew and Stevie. Yes, so I apologize. Yeah, I think I realized that the other thing was giving me telling me we had 3 more minutes, and then it was going to it was going to end. So yeah, so hopefully everyone's going to be able to join us in this one when that other one starts. Okay, it's failed experiment, and I apologize to everyone for that. So at least now everyone's going to be yes, Miss Sauvignon, we're back. Thanks for switching over. If if you're in the UK, the BBC normally do this. They do something on BBC Two, and then they'll say, okay, we're going to switch you back to BBC One, like when they do Wimbledon and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys can see the comments as they're coming through.
There you can. This is great.
Okay, okay.
This feels like home. I feel like I've come home.
Yeah. Okay. So I can't remember where we stopped. Hey, Colin, so everyone can see.
Was it number 8? Vijay had just revealed his number 8.
Okay, so we're down to
we're
Andrew.
We're on to Andrew's number round 3 or number 8.
Right.
Okay,
so now we're gonna get warmed up here for me if I'm Teddy. Just want to say really quick though, I like the way at one point was my number 4 favorite song of all time. That's how much I love that song. Like literally like 1990, spring 90, forget it. I was obsessed. So now I'm like, all right, now we're in the groove. No pun intended. Now it's like Groove Me plays, and I'm like, see, like how many songs do you have like that, Face? Like this set the stage. Okay, this is me and my boys, and Groove Me was the announcement of the whole era. So let's let that marinate, let that play, and just bask in my dominance. Like that. That's how I would approach playing Groove Me. So boom.
Yeah. It's strange. I probably would have started with Groove Me if I was doing it. I would have just said, okay, you want to go against me? Let me just do something like this. And everyone just and Face would have been like, when I see Smile again, it's like, man, I think if he just that that was an event. When you hear people who were around at that time talking about what happened when Groove Me came out, it just felt like, oh, so we can be there's music for the fellas. It felt as if back in the day it was like music was R&B was mainly for the women and hip hop was for the guys. But Groove Me came out and it's like, oh, we can rock on this as well. So shout out to Jacked, probably one of the best podcasts. I wish they did a visual documentary, but it was probably one of the best sort of his documentaries podcasts that I've ever listened to. So if you've not listened to it, Jacked, the Jack, the new twins.
Oh yes. Is that
Taraji P Henson when she narrated that? So I would tell anyone just to make sure you go listen to it, and it's an emotional roller coaster, but it goes through the history. So yeah, Groove Me.
And with Groove Me, was that directed by Reggie Hudlin? The video.
That's a good question. If it was, I love it even more.
That was his introduction, I think, into directing, and I think, or one of his early bits that he did, and I think Groove Me was his. And the other thing, we may have mentioned it on the first podcast that we did with you, Namdi and Stevie, the one about when we spoke to Andre Harrell. Mm-hmm. He mentioned two records to us. He said that the most important single in his career was Groove Me. He said there's no single that had more of an impact. And the album that had the biggest impact in his career was Mary J. Blige's My Life. So Mary J. Blige, My Life, and Guys, Groove Me. So obviously Groove Me needs to be included in this brilliant choice there, man.
Yes. Stevie.
I vividly remember only having enough money at the time to either buy an album that had come out that week on import or maybe 2 12-inch singles. I remember, I think it was in January, it was snowing. It was just like, there was snow everywhere. And I went to the record shop looking for, hopefully I wanted this record by the Wooten Brothers because I knew they'd put a new single out. And I get to the shot and he didn't have it. He'd not come in. And I thought, what am I going to do here? And I looked over to the racks and there it was looking at me. High Five, The Kissing Game, 12-inch picture cover. I thought, I've not got that yet. I'm going to buy that. So yeah, I agree with you, VJ. Number 8, I like the way The Kissing... I didn't have the album back then. I was buying the singles. I just couldn't afford too many albums. I had to be really careful about the albums that I bought because it was like, I needed to buy an album that I'd listened to all the way through. So I didn't buy that at the time. I got it years later, the first High Five album.
I think a lot of people bought that album because they couldn't get the single. The single didn't come out until a little bit later. And everybody was buying the album because of that song, which was interesting.
Wow.
I ended up buying the 12-inch first. I didn't buy the album, so I was grateful to get it on. But I thought to myself, I've just bought a 12-inch here that says LP version, instrumental, radio, and I thought I should be saving my money and buying the album. But it was such a good record. I need to go with something. I've gone all the way in the snow on the train to the record store. I've got to go home with it. So, but yeah, it's flawless, that record, isn't it?
And Stevie, don't get me started on instrumentals. When you start talking about instrumentals, that's my lane, man. Yeah. I can just take all the.
Let's not go into Teddy's dubs as well on the.
Oh my god! And the percapellas, the dubs and the percapellas. Oh my god, Teddy, you madman!
Okay, that was Stevie. Okay, so is it number 7?
Number 7 we're on.
Yeah, my number 7 is Kissing Game as well. I remember back in the time I was in Nigeria, and we used to get Casey Keller top 10, and already Just Can't Handle It was really massive in Nigeria. Mainly with the up-tempo tracks. All the slow ballads weren't really big, but the up-tempo ones. And then when this came out, it just gave me that vibe of Shanice's I Like Your Smile. It had that happy stuff all summer long. So it just felt innocent, and it just felt just right. And when you contrast Just Can't Handle It, the kind of like I was only 16, she was 20. I was like, oh, okay, what's going on here? But Kissing Game just felt more like, okay, almost like Can We Talk? In that sense. So it was just an amazing track, and you can't imagine the same guy who did that did I Wanna, but you can imagine him doing Do Me Right, because it felt like when they were finishing the Future album with Dave Way and the rest, they just went straight on and did a couple of these tracks because it had that type of vibe as well. So Kissing Game.
The ending, the way it slow fades at the end, and you can still hear him talking in the. It's heart rendering. It's like you just don't want it to end, and it's just fading away. Oh no! Come back.
Yeah.
And the interesting combination about that particular song, that was the first time I'd seen the name Bernard Bell, and when I saw his name, I thought, "Who is this guy?" Then he was also on the Guy album. And then I saw him on a few things. But I don't think Teddy did enough music with Bernard Bell. I think Teddy and Bernard Bell was the dream team. I don't think there was a better combo than Teddy and Bernard Bell.
Oh, well, Timmy would have this. People would this way would think, what he did with Timmy might have been if that was G.R. Gatling Riley. If that was,
they're all great. But I think for me, production wise, Bernard Bell and Teddy they edged it. There was something. Remember the time as well. I mean, just there's something magical about Bernard Bell on keys and doing whatever magic he did. So, yeah, just a thought.
Yeah, this is into my call. Imagine if Michael had signed Kissing
Colin
Game.
just blew. I mean, I have like goosebumps, like they're Mount Everest right now. Just
Colin, what have you done to us?
MJ,
Colin, what's wrong with you? Why are you coming out with these crazy ideas?
The background vocals, the stacks of MJ on "I Like the Way." Let me forget it.
Yeah, the one that got that would have been amazing. I mean, we're still upset that he didn't sing Joy. So yeah. Okay.
Andrew, you should try and create that on AI. You should do it yourself. Check it out. We'll tell you how.
That would be sick. Thank you, Colin. You're going to get a co-credit on that. Midjourney, Knight, and Colin. And by the way, also, like, man, so much of this podcast is me biting my tongue. There's so much I want to say, but I'm just trying to like be like respectful of the time. But I will get my chance, trust me. Anyhow,
no, I think it's Vijay.
Oh shit! Is your oh, that. See, look at that. Oh, go Vijay.
So my number 7 is by Blackstreet. By the way, I haven't had
Blackstreet. Okay.
none of the artists in my top 10 have appeared more than once. So I've tried to keep it as broad as I can. If I had to choose a Blackstreet track, it might be anything. There's like, I can think of 20 songs that I'd rather put ahead of No Diggity. Maybe Hey Love, Keep It Real, the interlude. I'd put that ahead of It's that good. That's the best interlude ever. Maybe. But for me, number 7 is No Diggity. Big tune. We've already discussed it. The impact that this song had was just something else. I couldn't compute the idea of Blackstreet with the producer behind NWA on one record. It was just my brain couldn't. It just didn't make sense. But it made sense when you hear it. It's like, what a song!
How was it relieved? How was it? Because I was in the States from '92 to 2003. So how was it received in the UK? Because as I mentioned, in the US, it went to number 1 for 4 weeks. It was massive. And it came out the same. It was the same day that they released Home Again and Another Level, and Another Level sold 4 times more than Home. It was just night and day. So that's how big the track was. But in the UK and Europe, what was it? Did you guys?
I felt it because it was such a big hit, and it sounds weird. I'm just like I'm a music fan first and foremost before anything. So it feels a bit odd saying this, but I felt really proud of Blackstreet and Teddy Riley.
Sure,
I felt so proud of them. That's the feeling I felt. Everybody knew about it. I'm like, yes, man, you guys have done it. You guys are really on the map with this one, and they smashed it out of the park.
Who's that redheaded guy from Ireland who's like a big deal from the UK? I forget his name. He does a lot of these slow songs that like are big pop songs. Man, Jamie Foxx hosted them. He's like a big mainstream redheaded singer with like a lazy eye. Come on, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Ed Sheeran.
Thank you, Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran covered No Diggity, and I think and he covered it with this DJ guy named Kygo. Like we're talking like 2013, 2014. So the fact that Ed Sheeran's redoing this song and it becomes this big like millennial hit, like I think it explains that even in the British Isles or the UK or Europe, or whatever, it was a big hit for them too. Otherwise, Ed, I don't think would have covered it. That's my thing. Thank you, Stevie. By the way,
when you said redhead with a lazy eye, I'm like, he's not talking.
Yeah, that's what big. Yeah.
It was another interesting cover of No Diggity was the one by Prince. Did you guys hear that one?
Yeah. I've seen the
There's
video.
a clip on YouTube with Prince
Yeah.
doing No Diggity with his band.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Prince is just different planet, man. That boy with those musicians, he's just messing around. He just sang No Diggity. You should check that out if you haven't heard that yet.
Yeah. But as I said, I mean, Lee was right saying that there's so many. I mean, I would have put Before I Let You Go, Don't Leave Me and stuff. But as I said, none of those tracks that we love as Teddy fans had a bigger global impact as No Diggity. So for this versus, you put that down against Roses Are Red. I think even they would say, yeah, man, we take our colors back. Anyway, Andrew, next.
So another monster hit, probably the biggest album of '89 in the US, and I think it was number 2 in the US for song, and that of course is My Prerogative. That's a song that like I think when you see it live, you're more just kind of like, Bobby, like you were the man back in the day, but we've got to like we respect you. You're still up there. You're still like huffing and puffing away. Like we respect you. But when you watch those, like even the '90s, like Home Again era Bobby Brown, like dude, the guy was a beast. So the fact that like that album, that song came out, Teddy should be very proud of that because that was also just like when New Jack went like pop, like mainstream, but it still retained its edge and its grit. So I would have a hard time. I don't think if you put Don't Be Cruel up against My Prerogative, while yes, I think Namdi, you might have even said it too. I think you said, I could be wrong, but I remember I think you said you prefer Don't Be Cruel, I think, to My Prerogative.
Yeah.
And I was really more about the face tracks as well. But I just think that objectively, like if you're trying to go, battle, I think you got to give it to My Prerogative, even though Don't Be Cruel is like kind of a cooler, slicker song. But anyway, that's my pick.
Yeah, no, as I said, for me, I mean, the whole vibe of Don't Be Cruel, loved it. But Prerogative became Bobby's, it made him the superstar. And that's strange because I don't really like Prerogative now as I did back then. I think if you watch the concert video, when he was there, he did the what was the name of the tour? But he was, when he's not wearing a top and he's wearing these big hammer pants and he's
that was a Heartbreak tour. That was when he was opening for New Edition.
Yeah, but if you watch him, when you watch that tour and the whole thing, you realize how big he was. So that My Prerogative was the song, the global big song, and I think if you think pop wise, it was a bigger track than Don't Be Cruel.
Oh, hold on a minute. In the UK, Don't Be Cruel was bigger than My Prerogative.
Wow, that's a trip.
Okay.
That's what made Bobby Brown a superstar in the UK was
Don't Be Cruel.
Fascinating.
Everyone was talking about that track when it came out.
Wow. Okay.
Steve, you guys say something really quick? I actually have like a video of NJS like free parties, and there was a March party I want to say that we did. I think anyway. Don't Be Cruel is played, and the DJ turns down the music, and the whole crowd goes, "Oh, girl," And I was thinking to myself, in 2007, it still got that reaction. So to me, that lines up with everything you just said. That's cool. I love that.
And and Namdi, whenever we get the chance, we have to sing. We have to go somewhere where we are there to dance and listen to music, and we are going to sing My Prerogative together. Amazing.
I mean, you guys forget in Amsterdam, we all sung Let's Chill together. I've just been reminded about that, actually. The end of the night, together, all arm in arm, singing Let's Chill.
That was fun, man. That was nice. That was a nice moment, man. All right, take back what I said about Let's Chill. It's an 8.5, 9 then. All right.
Oh goodness, but yeah, it's interesting. As I said, most people, I think the US preferred the Don't Be Cruel. I think it made news about, Bad Boy Bobby, and he's saying it's My Prerogative and stuff like that. I personally, as I said, loved the Don't Be Cruel. I didn't realize it was big in the US, in the UK, but it was the US that really made Bobby, and so that's probably why.
They're both huge tracks, though. You can't,
Yeah. But when it comes to impact, Don't Be Cruel was My Prerogative it's his signature. It's his. It's what that's what they would say. But it's interesting. I think Britney Spears covered it. My Prerogative.
I think, Lee was talking about the Britney track, that version. Teddy had he had a double disc promo disc that came out, and this was from his publishing company. I can't remember what the publishing company was called. This was maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and they were trying to promote Teddy Riley compositions. So if people want to use it in adverts and things like that, and the version they put on that CD was Britney Spears' My Prerogative. And I didn't even know it before that. So that was fascinating. It was interesting to hear Britney sing that.
Yeah. I think Timmy, when I said that he had heard the track when he was still in Guy, and they were supposed to put it on their next stuff, but when the whole thing split up, and Gene came in, so Teddy then gave it. Bobby heard it and says he wants it.
Wow.
Bob's singing in the background, Aaron's singing there and co-writing and stuff like that. But yeah, Timmy says he back My Prerogative. Teddy had all these tracks, and we just had our 8 tracks, and was like, okay, getting ready for the next before the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a little late, right? They were a little late to include that, so they didn't.
No, they hadn't written it. It's stuff that he just heard the beat. He heard they hadn't written it and stuff like that. So, but that was supposed to be the next stuff. I don't know if Aaron would have sang it the same way. I think it was Bobby's track. You know, it was the the grits and everything. I don't think anyone probably would have done it as much justice. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's like the universe just met at the right place. All the components met at the right place.
Yeah.
That Bobby Brown track, it's so good. Like the other tracks we mentioned Just Got Paid. I don't listen to that anymore, as like you mentioned, Stevie. But My Prerogative, it still sounds amazing.
I'm amazed. It's what we're on number 7, and number 7.
Exactly. We gotta.
Oh, sorry. Keep it moving.
Yeah. Well, Andrew's just said, yeah, Stevie's on you.
This is debatable whether it wasn't like a chart hit, this record, but it was released as a single. There was no video to it, but it's only I'd say in the last 2, maybe 3 years, the whole social media, TikTok, Instagram, Reel has brought this track back to life, and this is probably why I put it in my top 10. I still look at it is one of my favorites. You could pick about 10 tracks from this group, but I've gone with Guy I Like at number 7.
Yeah.
When you think about what TikTok and Instagram have done over the Real thing has brought that song to a younger generation. You're saying like the mainstream haven't heard of Guy. Well, I think there is a Gen Z generation may have heard of him through that track. I don't know, but it was quite a revelation that across social media for about a year. I do remember, but it's a great record, isn't it? I Like.
Stunning.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely. I think Damien said that they missed an opportunity.
Why no video?
No, because Gene wanted merry-go-round, and Gene wanted to try and do his own thing. But I'm talking about when it went viral during lockdown. Damien said they missed an opportunity. Teddy and him and Aaron could have just done a video together.
Totally.
And really helped spare up the trend, but everyone just stayed silent and stuff. So yeah, I think if he had played it during the verses, because it had the big buzz and people were doing the whole I Like dance, it probably would have been it would have done so. But I doubt if he would have. I don't think Teddy saw the track the same way, because it was mainly because it was Timmy's track. Timmy came, Timmy. It was Timmy's track, more of his track. So I doubt if Teddy really owned it like that. But definitely, it's an interesting story and the concept and vibe to it. Yeah. Okay, so it's back to me. My number 6 was Just Got Paid. Now we've spoken about it, and I think if Keith Sweat co-wrote it and he said he was meant to sing it, and I said I couldn't. I don't know if he had the same vibe as Johnny Kemp had, and Johnny just seemed happy. Just the whole vibe. Friday night just got paid, and that whole concept of, and you think about that. You've just got. I think even Bones Thugs and Harmony had their first of the month. That sense of, oh man, it's Friday, and here we're in the UK. We're probably not used to this, but in the US, it's every other week. Or every other Friday they get their paycheck. We wait once a month, Andrew. So it does seem strange. Like at the end of the month, we get a paycheck for the whole month. So it seems constant. But so that for that track to really hit, I'm sure a lot of people could relate to it and the whole vibe to it. And and the fact that he calls Teddy out at the end, and Teddy just plays his stuff. Still as big as big track, crossover track. And I think at that point in time is one of those tracks where it could get under the pop charts as well. So Just Got Paid. Yeah. And that's my number 6. Vijay.
My number 6.
Keith would have messed it up.
is, I was just going to say, Stevie's like the school teacher, and he's helping us keep time, because otherwise we're going to be lost for a long time. So thank you, Stevie. My number 6 is Michael Jackson. I probably would have gone with She Drives Me Wild if I had my own choice. I'm going to go with Remember the Time, because it is an absolutely perfect song. The melody, the instrumentation, every single version I've heard of it, Teddy apparently, well, he's done about 40. There were about 40 or 50 versions that Teddy had done,
Wow.
just messing around with it. So with slightly more bass, slightly more this, slightly more that, and Remember the Time is just perfection. I was very surprised when in the UK it only made it to number 2.
Oh, wow.
Which I found fascinating because that's a number 1 record all day, every day. And that was the killer combo for me. I think Teddy and Michael, that was the song. It was perfect. And Bernard Bell, I have to say that. Bernard Bell as well, yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And lovely video.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize what they did. Black and White get to number 1 or?
Yes, it was number 1. Because
Wow.
it's so much better than Remember the Time, right? That's what I don't understand. I think, but basically, because Black or White was the first single,
Yeah.
there was anticipation for it, and it had quite a good message in that song. So that did make it to number 1. Remember the Time only made it to number 2 in the UK. But on the number 1's album, I think they've included Remember the Time, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Andrew, what's for you? And so guys might be wondering, Andrew is going round by round, so he's not ranking them as in what he thinks is Teddy's best, but he's thinking if he was going round by round, these are the tracks he would have put.
Yeah, exactly. So number 6 is actually, or the 5th one I would throw out there. I don't think Face has
No,
any
6th one.
Oh, 6. Yeah, 6th ones in general. Yeah, 6th one. But I don't think Teddy has anything that has as much swagger as the song I'm about to pick.
Oh, you mean Face?
Did I say Teddy? I meant
Yes,
Face.
it did.
I don't think Face has any songs that have much swagger as the one I'm going to pick. I think Face is always more of a softie, and I think this song just is unapologetic, Macalocious, Mac Daddy, testosterone all the way. It's cool, it's collected, it's calm and confident. And for me, at least in the States, it's Big Daddy Kane, I Get the Job Done. I think that beat hits, and then it's just like, like Kane's just on there, and then like, Teddy's like, I work, baby. I work. That song is sick. So for me, it's just like I'm playing that, and Face is like, shit. Like, so that was my pick.
Okay.
So with I Get the Job Done, I think that there's a lot of this song is all R&B. A lot of it's R&B, but on the Versus battle with Babyface, there wasn't enough hip hop. If you get into Teddy's hip hop, there's a lot there, man. A lot.
Yeah.
So there's a whole different world there. So,
but when you're up against, say, Can We Talk and I Make Love to You and End of the Road, you really have to say, okay, you need heavy hitters that people, and that's why everyone was saying, Teddy, take him to the club. Take him to the club, because when people like going to the club. Yeah, we'll sing I Make Love to You, but when you're playing something that's like heavy and then streets, it's like you can't, you dance first before you slow dance. So, yeah. But yeah, I work. I think I probably was a bigger fan of.
We Got Our Own Thing.
No, the most Makumo D ones, like
okay.
I Get the Job Done. No, it's like
Go to Work.
I Go to Work.
I Go to Work. I Go to Work, and also Death Blow. I love Death Blow.
Oh, what a tune, man!
I love hitting with a Death Blow. Yeah, so yeah, Stevie, what's it for you? Number 6.
I Get the Job Done was in my first drafted 10, and I left it out because I thought, in terms of like a big hit, it wasn't like a big worldwide hit.
Yeah,
was it?
Well,
then I'm going, neither was Guy I Like, but yeah, it got sacrificed that, but it was in my original drafted 10, but it's a great record. Number 6, I figured that Babyface is going to go ballad heavy. What ballads could you put up? Well, just above ballad range. What could you match Babyface with? And you can't argue with this one, Blackstreet Joy. So that's at my number 6. Again, I just think it's a timeless record, stood the test of time. It's a very special record, that.
It's stunning.
And against any Babyface's songs, It's right up there for me.
Yeah, I probably would always be. I mean, I think people love Joy. I just think you because ballads of Babyface's territory. I would just always stay away from. Yeah, even less chill. But yeah, but I think it's amazing how Joy became such an impact on a lot of people.
Someone said Before I Let You Go, and that's the one that like was the big hit off that album, from what I remember. Here in the States, that because Omar Epps was in the video and everything.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
always
Yeah,
hit.
but in
yeah.
the UK, guys, what was bigger? Before I Let You Go, Joy.
Probably Joy, because Joy actually got a UK release, didn't it?
Joy had
Before
more
Let Go
attention.
didn't get a UK release.
What a trip!
Wow.
Yeah.
But Joy, they're both fantastic songs.
Yeah, they are.
And I love reading the credits on that. Written by Teddy Riley, Michael Jackson, and Tammy Lucas. Hello, what is going on? It was, yeah. And then we found out many years later that there was a version with Michael and all of that. And yeah, so that would have been nice to hear. But Joy, wicked tune. Great choice, Stevie.
Yeah, Joy. Okay. My number 5 is definitely Remember the Time. Now, remember when we did, what did we do that I think we did a Danish album, and Remember the Time I think was number 8 or 9 on that list. So you can tell that it's not one of my favorite Michael Teddy tracks. I would put, She Drives Me Wild or Dangerous, which was higher. But I can't deny what Remember the Time did for Michael, especially within the Black community. I was in the States when the video came out, and it felt like Michael's come home. He was supposed to do Soul Train. He had a sprained ankle.
Yes.
So he sang on a chair, and he stood up, and everyone went crazy that he just stood up in his little stuff. And yeah, so for Michael, I think once he did this, all the allegation that came, the hood said, "Now that's our brother," kind of thing. So that was such an important track. As much as I said, it's at the time it was great. I think now I listen to it, I don't like it as much, but can't deny that this was probably. I wish he probably could have come out with this before Black or White. What would have happened would have been a bigger number 1 track, global hit, and it would have given him a different vibe and stuff. But can't deny Remember the Time and what it means for Michael and what it did for his career and his reconnection with the Black community. The NAACP, everyone just honored him, was like, yeah, come home, Mike, and stuff. So big track. Yeah.
And you mentioned the video for Remember the Time. The excitement when we saw that video was the same as the excitement for me when we saw Smooth Criminal. There were very exciting videos. Like, we were huge Michael Jackson fans, all of us, right?
Yeah.
And those 2 videos just hit a little differently.
Well, he got Fatima from Uptown. He got Big Les. He got all the other hip hop dancers. He got everyone on that. It was, it was him saying, "Okay, I remember who I am."
John Singleton, the director, just came off
Boys in the Hood.
He
He got everyone. So it was. I think it's probably one of his most important songs that he released that really, really changed how he was brought back in. Because I think after he did Bad, I think he lost a lot of cred, with the whole Bad. There was nothing, he was still globally big, but within this community, you always need your hometown to support you. So when it does, you can come back home. Yeah. Okay. Vijay, what was yours?
What are we on? Number 5?
Yes. Number 5.
So for me, I picked Johnny Kemp's Just Got Paid.
Okay.
I don't listen to it anymore, but I do listen to the dub. But I think I should just mention one thing. The reason why we liked this song a lot more is that keyboard solo. Hello. How good is that? It's just it's so good, man. And so Teddy's signature keyboard solo in all its glory on that song, brilliant. The dub mix is fantastic. Slightly heightened keyboard solo on that, stunning. So that's my number 5.
Okay, Andrew, what about you?
I Like the Way. High five. And the one thing I wanted to say was the radio station that was big in San Francisco called KMEL. They had a remix of "I Like the Way" where they actually blended in "I Like" by Guys. That spoken like intro, will you hold me, will you kiss me, I like it. Like it's in that "I Like the Way," and it was just such an amazing mix. When I think about "Like the Way," I think of rolling green hills. I think of cloudless blue skies. I think Tony's vocals were insane. As I said before, was my number 4 song of all time. I think number 3 was like Human Nature. Number 2 was Lonely by Janet Jackson. Number 1 was Can't Stand the Rain. I mean, this was like, this was like the ish. I could talk for 30 minutes about what I mean by reeling it in. But I think it was Colin who said MJ singing that. I mean, I had never even fathomed that. Forget it. But I Like the Way was so unteddy. Oh, I remember one more thing. We did have the High Five album because Just Can't Handle It. I loved it that much. And I remember just hearing that song on the record and going, wow, what an amazing hook. So then when I'm hearing I Like the Way on like pop radio, it actually like crossed over from just what I listened to at home to the radio. And then the video with the white backgrounds and like the, it was just, the whole thing was perfect. Spring 1991. I Like the Way. Yeah, man. All right. I hated this song. So.
I mean, Teddy, he had done, as I said, Dangerous. He had the Future album out. He had all those tracks. And so, yeah. Then he had the Peaceful Journey stuff. So he was, it was, he had the House Party too, House Party. All those singles and stuff out there. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Stevie.
I picked another Guy track. I thought it's got a Guy's got to make my top 5. It was a choice between My Fantasy, because that was a huge hit in 1989. But I've gone with Groove Me. Because, like you say, it's the beginnings of it. We've already talked about it anyway, but it's at number 5. Groove Me.
Groove Me. So I'm hitting. It comes in a closing step. Number 4 is a track that actually it just keeps on giving. There's been countless remakes of this particular track, and also it's an introduction of the legendary vocals of Miss Jackie McGee. Make It Last Forever. It's. I always say that this was a type of production that if Teddy had continued, he would have ruled the 90s. But Jodeci, Devante, and R. Kelly took the template of Make It Last Forever and Peace of My Love and Goodbye Love, and they just that was what Jodeci did, that type of vibe. And Teddy seemed to have just walked away from that, doing those type of ballads and slow jams. Jackie said that all the riffs that Teddy was like, yeah, do this and all that stuff. And I'm like, why? That he could visualize what he wanted her to do. And he was what, 20 years old, or I don't know how old he must have been at that time. Make It Last Forever if he had played that, I think I don't know what Babyface could have played a ballad that people would have topped this. Because people like End of the Road and I Love Make Love to You and all that stuff, but I think Make It Last Forever is a hood classic that in a versus competition they probably would say, yeah, that trumps anything. So yeah.
I agree, and I'm actually looking at my phone because like I have my list on my phone. I'm like, how did you forget that one, Andrew? Like, what the hell? Like, number 1, like I'm like, how did you? And maybe because I attributed it too much to Keith, I forgot Teddy was, of course, obviously involved. Number 1, but number 2, like when you go to these concerts, like the Legacy Tour, the Culture Tour, in between sets, the DJ will come out and just start dropping tracks, like just like mixing it, getting the crowd reaction. And that song, when that boom, the energy just transforms. And It's like, you're right. That is a song. Another one, you'll be excommunicated, if you say anything negative about that song. So I just wanted to like totally like triple, like just, yes, like that would have replaced what I had on my list. That's so props.
The interesting thing about Make It Last Forever, the song, is that it's listened to more than I Want Her on streaming sites, which I found fascinating. I always thought I Want Her was the biggest song from that era, barring what is it, Twisted and Nobody and all of that. But it's Make It Last Forever. Even Right and a Wrong Way is a more popular song on those streaming platforms than I Want Her, which blew my mind. I don't get it, but it's what it is.
Yeah. What about you, Vijay? What's your number 4?
Number 4, it's a song by Guy. Stevie, you mentioned it. For me, My Fantasy was like a big song for me for so long. I love it.
Same with me.
Fantastic song. Another big one is Spend the Night from that era. Those two songs really were massive for me in my headspace. But I have to go with Guy Groove Me because it was the beginning of it all. It's the foundation. It's the foundation of everything, I think. So we've talked about it a lot today, so I won't say anything else other than if you haven't got this is the special edition one, which came out a few years ago, and you have the extended version of Guy's Groove Me on there as well. 6 remixes, so worth getting that. And that's my number 4.
Wow. Andrew, number 4 for you.
Did I mess up the order? Because I feel like I just went. No?
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, I was talking about, I was responding to Nicholas. All right, good. So my number 4 is Let's Chill. I think we talked that one to death. I will say, though, I like the video remix. There is a slight remix like version of the video versus the album, and I like them both. But, the album is more grounded. The video, to me, is more crystalline, if you can kind of like follow what I'm saying. It's just more, it's misty, and I love it. So anyway, Let's Chill's the one, but I just got done saying I probably would switch it out for Make It Last Forever. And believe it or not, I live in Canada. This is my excuse. The first Guy song I actually heard, and I saw the video, it was indeed My Fantasy. And I was like, who is this group called Guy? I thought it was like French or something. Man. It also totally random. Teddy actually looks like my dad, believe it or not. I was like, really weird. Like, why is my dad like in a flat top, like dancing on a beach in Speedos? But anyway, but man, so My Fantasy came so close. But I was like, I think Groove Me is a bigger hit. But yeah, there's something about My Fantasy and Get the Job Done. I think we're out around the same. Anyways, I love that song. So I just had to like plus up what you guys just said.
I don't know if we mentioned on the previous podcast, but and the credits on the album aren't that clear. Tony Thompson is a background vocalist on Let's Chill.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah, I saw that also on Instagram, and I remember I'll say so when I talked to Bernard Bell, he said it was him and Mary Brown. That's what he said. But I'm not gonna, maybe he forgot to say Tony, but it would make sense. I mean, I can sort of hear it, but that's what he told me. But either way, dope. I love Tony. Tony was a gifted guy vocally. My God.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, in the credits it says, I've got the album. Yeah. I'm my own version of Stevie and Vijay with album credits and stuff. It's very rare.
I'm impressed.
Very rare.
Yeah.
But it does say, but we didn't realize Albie Shaw was singing the first verse of
You Can Call Me Crazy.
You Can Call Me Crazy. So we can't always go. We don't know. So it most likely could be true and stuff. But anyway, Stevie, number 4 is on you.
My original draft of this 10, I had this at number 1. It's now at number 4. I don't know if I'm regretting this decision or not, but at least it's still in there. It is a heavenly song. It's a very uplifting song, and it's Make It Last Forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And shout to Jackie for just taking that record to another level with a vocal.
Yeah.
She just soars right up there, doesn't she? On it.
Yeah.
She smashes it on that.
It's such a special record.
And
again, it stood the test of time.
It definitely has. It definitely has.
We're so lucky. We're so lucky that we came through that era, and we got to hear them. As they were coming out and enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
We're just so lucky.
That's a very interesting. That's a good sentence. That we are so blessed. That's it. You're right. 100%.
Yeah. My number 3, we've spoken about Groove Me. The whole vibe, the whole funkiness of it. It ain't over. It just the whole video, the whole stuff. Yeah, it was. I think it was a surprise for me to see the video and see the album and not really understand what happened. I never knew. I never knew. Like, So it took me on the first album. Then I'm like, wait, how come Damien looks different? So yeah, that whole thing. But yeah, it's a special song. It's just amazing song. So that's my number 3. Vijay, what's number 3 for you?
Number 3 for me is it's a Keith Sweat song. I wanted to have Something Just Ain't Right because I love that song. I could listen to that all day
Don't get
long.
me started. The intro, the
unfortunately, that's not on this list. So sorry for anybody that was getting excited. It's actually Keith Sweat's "I Want Her," and I think it showcases the sound very well. Teddy's sound very well. It's iconic. It's one of his biggest songs. And I was talking to somebody today, and they didn't know that Teddy was involved in it, and it blew their mind. And it blew my mind that they didn't know that Teddy was on it. So it was an interesting conversation. But I'll leave that at that. Keith Sweat, "I Want Her" at number 3.
Andrew,
my number 3 is a song we've already talked about many times, and it is Check Baby, 1, 2, 3, 4, Check Baby, Rump Shaker. So number 3, I think that I would be having a hard, not the video version. For me, it's that one. So that's the one I'd be playing, and just let it ride, and people nod their heads and shake and say, "You got anything like this, bass? Oh, okay, all right, cool. It's no crime. No crime to not have anything to match this.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Stevie.
My top 3, the last 3 are probably Teddy's biggest 3 records of all time. And that doesn't include Tom Jones. I don't remember Tom Jones. Tom Jones.
I think Levi did the track with co-wrote and co-produced that one because I remember him. Yeah.
I think he did 3 tracks on that album.
Yeah, the lead and how to swing it.
But I'll number 3, Blackstreet, No Diggity. We've talked enough about it tonight, but it's got to be at number 3. It's too big. Yeah. It's too big.
Massive tune. Good choice.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So going to my number 2, we've just said it. I Want Her, and as I said, it's I start off by talking about how Babyface reacted to it and Jimmy Jam reacted to it, but also the fact that this was one of those tracks that, this is, you could hear Teddy throughout the track. Now we had Timbaland do it. We started hearing Jermaine Dupri do it, talking on the records, but I don't know how often this was Teddy co-singing and talking with Keith as well. It's probably one of those tracks where I can't listen to it as much as I did back in the day now, but that's probably why it wouldn't make me in my top 10 favorite Teddy tracks. But for the impact it did, that would definitely be up there as my second most influential track by Teddy. It would have been I Wanna.
One thing I want to say really quick too about that, and I held back, but I'm going to say it now because it's appropriate, is you guys mentioned that I Want Her didn't have a music video. And again, I grew up in Canada, okay? Like East Coast Canada did not have any like black radio, like at all, right? But for some reason, I Want Her was like in heavy rotation. So I think it's crazy that I Want Her was in heavy rotation on pop radio with no music video. So when I even discovered who Keith Sweat was, like, oh, he's the guy. It was really weird. That one and Night and Day, for some reason, like really crossed over in like 88. But yeah, I think it was, but at least Night and Day had a video, but I Want Her didn't. Yet it was just so incessantly played.
Well, look at Make It Last Forever. His biggest track did not have a video.
That definitely got no love in Canada. It was too early. but I think out, of course, in the United States. But yeah, but I Want Her, it was a big pop hit. It was really weird. Yeah. Sorry, Canada.
No, who's next? Was it? Okay.
DJ.
So my number 2 is a Bobby Brown track. If you guys have not got it, then, and if you like Bobby Brown's music, there's this lovely box set with all the singles off the first album.
Great collectible, that. Great collectible.
Including this one, which is my number 2,
you
Bobby
go.
Brown, My Prerogative. You can't mess with it. It's
Yeah.
just perfect. It's the perfect song to sing along to. And it's as close as any song in the new edition collective that comes to Belle Biv DeVoe's Poison, as far as like a sing-along song. I would say also honorable mention to Bubba, who's on that track, and Aaron Hall, who's also on that track. That's my number 2.
Back to you, Andrew.
Number 2, we've also talked this one in depth. I love how our lists are pretty similar. Remember the Time. So that's my number 2 as far as like, or not, yeah, in terms of the rounds.
Yeah.
My second last pick.
Second to last track.
Yeah, and just saying, hey, what do you got? You know, actually, you work with Michael Jackson, but did you work with Michael Jackson on a hit that actually like hit number 1? No, you didn't, did you? On the Line, that was cute. Yeah, but you don't have to remember the time.
Yeah.
Big tune, massive.
Stevie.
Number 2 was Michael Jackson, Remember the Time. So I think you said it all. You said it all for me, Mr. Knight.
Yeah.
Great minds.
And yeah, for me then, if I go to my, number 1 track, and I'll just go through
10 to 2 first.
the 10 tracks that I put in there. So I start off with Rump Shaker, Let's Chill, No Diggity, Kissing Game, Just Got Paid, Remember the Time, Make It Last Forever, Groove Me, I Wanna, and the track that sold 12 million albums and made this guy a superstar, and that's My Prerogative. It's in the Bobby Brown movie, if you saw that, he was like Teddy was still in the hood, and he was like, man, I like this track, and we record it, and then that the rest was history. Big track, big tune, legendary Bob and Aaron singing backgrounds and stuff like that. And you're right, Ted. Yep. The whole that Herring Just Got Paid, and then and also with My Prerogative, having Teddy being mentioned in the stuff. I was like, he did that, And then in the Bobby album, when they did Two Can Play That Game, is it Two Can Play That Game where he had Teddy say,
Yep, Teddy.
Yeah. So yeah. So Prerogative, I think that's that. Yeah,
That's a great number 1, man. It's a great number 1.
Vijay, up to you.
There are 4 songs that didn't make my top 10, which were Michael Jackson, Blood on the Dance Floor, Big Daddy Kane, I Go to Work, I'll Be Sure featuring Slick Rick, If I'm Not Your Lover, and Cool Mo D, How You Like Me Now. So they didn't make my list. They were close. Heavy D and the Boys was number 10, Now That We Found Love. Rump Shaker, number 9. Number 8 was High Five, I Like the Way. 7, Blackstreet, No Diggity. 6 was Michael Jackson, Remember the Time. Johnny Kemp, Just Got Paid. Guy, Groove Me. I Want Her by Keith Sweat. Number 2 was My Prerogative. And I did say that I haven't repeated artists twice, but I have repeated an artist, and I've just realized it now. And this wasn't one of his big hits, but I was thinking about the Versus battle. And if Teddy was to come against Babyface, what can he come with which would just blow everybody out of the water, even if they didn't know this song? And that is Michael Jackson, Someone Put Your Hand Up. That's my number 1. I have to put it in there. And I just felt it would have a massive impact because it's just it's perfect. It's just magic, isn't it? That's my number 1.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. Well, I was definitely trying to take people on a journey. Like I'm Teddy Riley. I'm a legend, and this is why. So let's start from the top. We got Just Got Paid, I Want Her. If you guys are figuring out, it was pretty chronological. Groove Me, My Prerogative, I Get the Job Done, I Like the Way, Let's Chill, Rump Shaker, Remember the Time. That's the only kind of switcheroo. But then number 1, I've already given you guys a hint, chronological. I'm going to finish it off with I Like the Way You Work It, because you got to bag up my trophy for winning this versus No Diggity, No Doubt. I got the clout. So
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So no Diggity at number 1 then.
I mean, again, the last song I would drop. I'm not ranking it. I'm just
Alright.
putting it into like
Yeah.
how I would deploy
I thought
it.
I thought he was going to say I like the way you work then.
Oh, by Blackstreet. The other one, yeah. No, it was No Diggity.
Okay.
But that's the last one I would drop. But if I had to rank them personally, as far as what I chose out of my top 10, it would probably be, well, my personal favorite is I Like the Way. I forgot to mention, as far as honorable mentions, I'm surprised no one said anything like We Got Our Own Thing, Heavy D. Like that's the one that was on my periphery. You know, that was like I didn't put it in there, but it was like me personally. I think that's a good Teddy track. That's just like, you know, yeah.
Can I share something about that song? On the other list with collective list, We Got Our Own Thing made it to number 11
out of 20,
out of 96.
Oh, okay. Well, that's high. That's awesome.
It's really high. We Got Our Own Thing was really high.
Yeah,
big track.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the chats, guys. Because I've just been checking on my phone, and there's been more. I don't know why it just stopped after 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was just so apologize that we haven't been able to see the rest of your comments since the last comment we had was. This was the last comment we had, and it's other comments have come through. So apologize. I'm not sure what is going on with that. But yes. So you've got yours, Stevie. What about yours?
There was 3 records that made my initial draft, but I had to leave them out probably because I didn't feel hit-wise they were big enough, even though they are my favourites. Bubba, I Like Your Style, which I think is one of his best productions in terms of just a musical production. Surprisingly, New Kids on the Block, Never Let You Go, was in my original draft. A big sleeper track there. And the other one was that Big Daddy Kane track. But number 10 was Rump Shaker. Then it was I Want Her. Then it was I Like the Way the Kissing Game. Then it was Guy I Like. Then it was Joy. Then it was Groove Me. Then it was Make It Last Forever. Then it was No Diggity. Then it was Remember the Time. I just think number 1, it's Teddy's all-time biggest track is Bobby Brown, My Prerogative.
There you go.
I think that's the biggest thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's hard to, it's hard to debate that one, isn't it? I just think that's it.
Yeah.
It's just we said enough. I mean, we've said enough about Bobby Brown over the last 40 podcasts. So I'll stop there.
I mean, some of the I didn't really. Some of the tracks that I missed out was We Got Our Own Thing, Wild Wild West, the show. Because when he played that, face was like, "How old were you when you did the show?" So it for nostalgia. Before I let you go,
the thing about the show was there's no credits for him on that record. I didn't say any. My record doesn't say anything with Teddy Riley in it.
Yeah. But he didn't.
The idea for the sounds because the producer Dougie Fresh came and asked him, "What should I do? Do you have any ideas for a song?" He said, "I think you should do this, this, and this." Explain the song, and I think they went away and did that song. Okay. Teddy was at school; he wasn't allowed to go, something like that, and they recorded that.
No, but Teddy did he did that part. He also did the Inspector Gadget stuff.
Who gave the idea for the Inspector Gadget bit?
It was Teddy. It was Teddy. Teddy said that Teddy was playing all that, and he started to do the just to keep it going, and he cut back all the commercials.
Why didn't credit him then? I just don't understand it.
Because he didn't know he didn't get credit for Prerogative. He only started getting his credit when he did Come Up D. When Zomba, the CEO, said he was in the studio saying, and they said, "Who are you?" He says, "I'm making the tracks," and that's when he got his Zomba deal with the Come Up D. But even Come Up D didn't credit him as producing the tracks. He credited Come Up D doing the production. So he was just listed as the guy playing the instruments. So he didn't know about those things. So that's But Dougie Fresh has come out and said, Teddy did it. So I think now they have,
At some point, we need to have this conversation about Teddy Riley's obsession with the Inspector Gadget theme tune because it's on so many tracks and it's really odd. But then the only thing can put it down to is that he was very, very young man at the time. And he must have been like, this is a great cartoon. I love this theme tune. I'm going to add it on like 72 different tracks that I've done.
Didn't he get sued for it though? Did he ever think?
I don't think they did. No.
A lot of people would have got away with it. Stuff then back
Yeah, but Inspector Gadget was big for kids back then, though.
Massive, yeah, of course.
Guys, we have to apologize, as I said, that the comments just stopped all of a sudden from 11 o'clock. So that's for the last 20 minutes. We've not been able to see any new ones, and it's just because I'm able to see here. And a lot of people was talking about today, "Girl, I Have My Eyes on You," and things like that. In MJ in the Closet, we've got what's the one he did with "Do the Right Thing"?
Redhead Kingpin.
Wow.
Yeah, with Redhead Kingpin. Some of the ones that they could have put out there, but it's yeah. So, but anyway, we apologize. We definitely apologize for not being able to get the chats working, but hopefully next time. It's been interesting for us today, being able not putting our favorite tracks, but understanding that there's a difference between Teddy's biggest tracks and our personal tracks. And but just to know that Teddy could have smashed face in that versus had he just just dug into his catalog.
Our 10, 15. If you'd have picked them 10, 15 tracks we mentioned tonight, he would have smashed it.
Yeah, he definitely would have. Yeah, I mean, I think when he did Deep,
Vijay's got he's not going to read all 96 out, but I know.
DJ, go ahead.
I'm just going to read some odd ones, and then I'll read out the top 30 maybe. Zan, Want to Be With You was in there. Straight Up Nasty by Zan was in there. Today, Take It Off. Joyride by Men of Vision. Interesting. Winans, It's Time. In a Magazine by 911. Don't Take My Mind on a Trip by Boy George. Right and a Wrong Way by Keith Sweat. Hammer, Don't Stop. Mikey Episode. EPMD featuring Teddy Riley, Listen Up. Jonathan Butler, She's Hot. Black Girl, 90s Girl. Some people didn't understand the rules. They've included She's SWV right here. Guy, Tell Me What You Like. Profile Liar. I Just Can't Handle It. Let's Stay Together by Guy. Cool Mo D, Go See the Doctor. Do the Right Thing, Redhead Kingpin. Lots of I'm Looking for the One to Be With Me. 911 Cutie has been included with the Teddy Riley version. Then top 30, Guy, You Can Call Me Crazy. 29, Guy, New Jack City. 28, Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever. 27, Guy, Goodbye Love. 26, Blackstreet, Good Life. 25, Bobby Brown, Two Can Play That Game. 24, Blackstreet, Joy. 23, Michael Jackson, Jam. 22, James Ingram, It's Real. 21, really happy to see this in the list. Rex and Effect, Ready or Not. 20, Bobby Brown, One More Night.
Which version? House Party version or Hard and Smooth version?
I think they've just said Ready or Not, so I'm assuming it's the House Party one. Then there's 19 was Heavy D and the Boys, Now That We Found Love. 18 is Bobby Brown, That's the Way Love Is. Number 17, interesting inclusion, Foxy Brown featuring Blackstreet, Get Me Home. 16, Before I Let You Go. 15, Blackstreet, Baby Be Mine. 14, Guy, Teddy's Jam. Number 13, Teddy Riley featuring Tammy Lucas, Is It Good to You? Number 12 is Guy, Her. Number 11 is the song that almost cracked the top 10, We Got Our Own Thing by Heavy D and the Boys. Number 10, Teddy's Jam 2. Number 9, Blackstreet, No Diggity. Number 8, Johnny Kemp, Just Got Paid. Number 7, High Five, I Like the Way, Kissing Game. Number 6, so glad it's in the top 10, in the collective top 10, Bubba, I Like Your Style. Number 5, Rex and Effect, Rump Shaker. Number 4, Remember the Time. Number 3, Guy, Groove Me. Number 2, Keith Sweat, I Want Her. So number 1 is Bobby Brown, My Prerogative.
Did it again, Stevie. Did it again. You said this is his biggest track, and look at that.
Yeah. Somebody put I'm Looking for the One by Will Smith. I don't know if and Father MC 69. There's so many big tracks.
And with that, Namdi, we can land the jet plane now.
Wait, can I say one more thing real quick? I think what's crazy to me is Teddy had not one but 2 times. Remember, we had 2 verses. The first one was a live band thing. The audio was off. Came back. You had 2 chances, homie, and like you still like you should have called us. We have your back. The ammo you needed to like really. But you know what? It was a cultural moment. You know, you and Face completely created a whole. Y'all were the first verses, so it's like that's special. You guys are trailblazers and you're legends, living legends. So I'll just say that.
And Andrew, when that second verses took place, do you remember we did a
house party,
like a super spreadsheet on that house party app?
Yeah,
and across 400 points, Teddy Riley won the verses by 2 points.
That's
2
right.
Points. That's how close it was.
Yes.
It was tight. It was tighter than your Babyface has got some ridiculous songs. So don't sleep on Babyface either. So I just leave it on that note.
Yeah. Okay, guys. But next time we will get this. Technical difficulties. I'll sort out this streaming stuff. But thanks for tuning in. Apologize for the chats. For the last 30 minutes, we've not been able to see new chats that's been coming through. But it's going to be on the replay. So when you watch it back, all the chats are there. But I apologize that it didn't come through to us this time around. Thanks for this, guys. And we'll see what's going to be next. But this has been fun.